So today I am going to batch cook some of George's keto meals. George gets 4 meals a day, and I batch cook normally every 2 weeks to cover 2 of those meals. And then the other 2 meals just get made fresh on the day. They're usually like a sweet, so like something sweet, so like yogurts or whipped cream or cheesecakes or just ice cream or bits and bobs like that. So what I do is we've got the special calculator on our phone where you can make up the values for one meal in accordance to his keto ratio. So everything is made up initially by the dietitian. She gives us how much fat he needs per meal, how much protein he needs per meal, and how much carbs he needs per meal. And then we split that over 4 meals through the day. And you use the calculator on the phone to make up one meal, and then I have to multiply everything by 8 because I only do that because when I bought these trays years ago, there was 8 bits in them, so I just make every meal by 8. So what I do is I write all the meals down. You can see all my rough work in there. So I'm going to make 4 different meals just now, and then I take the values for one meal and times it by 8, and then weigh everything out on our, hopefully you can see, tiny little scales. And you literally have to weigh everything out to the 0.01 of a gram, just to make sure you've got it right, because that's how the calculator on the phone calculates it. So you put in like an ingredient. So for example, if I'm making lasagna, I've got minced carrots, peppers, tomatoes, corn flour, cheese, cream and stuff. And you put in your starting ingredient, which would be mince. I'll put in 10 grams of mince for the meal, and then I'll just add all the ingredients one by one, and the calculator will tell me how much I need. And then at the bottom of the calculator, it tells me if I've got enough fat, protein and carbs, and it'll tell me if I've got too much of something. So if I've got too much protein, for example, the protein bit will be red. And then I have to decrease anything that's got a lot of protein. So mince is really high in protein, so I'd have to decrease the mince until I get the protein to go green, because that's when it's enough protein. So it sounds really fiddly, but we've been using this calculator for 2.5 years, so we're totally used to it. And every time George's values changed, like last week, we increased his calories, so his values changed. We just edit all the recipes in the calculator. So it is 10 to 3, so I'm about to start cooking. This will take me forever. I hate batch cooking, but it's the easiest thing to do, especially when we're at classes, because we just take one of the meals out of the freezer, stick a label on it, and make up a bottle of milk and cream, because he always gets unsweetened almond milk with double cream in it, and then that goes to whoever he's at. If he's going to my sister's for more than, well, sometimes just one day, my sister tends to cook a meal for him, because they've got copies of the calculator on their phones as well. And if he's going out the road to mum and dad's, my other sister Maureen will just do all his meals. So we just pack like some basic ingredients, and she just cooks everything. She cooks what her and Jacob and Will and mum and dad are having, but it just needs to be cooked with maybe a little bit more oil, a little bit less carby veg. So the veg needs to be low carb and stuff like that. So yeah, we're all kind of used to it, but it does take forever. So we thought we would just show you turn this around, what we normally do. I'll take some photos of the mess later on. I hate mess, but that's my whole kitchen covered in stuff. Okay. So it is an hour after I started the video, and I finally got everything chopped up and weighed out and ready to go in the pans to cook. It only took so long because Archie woke up. George has needed 100 things, and Archie's been hungry, so I've kind of been floating in and out. So I'll show you what we've done so far. So that is going to be broccoli chicken, the tomatoes, and this is going to be chicken satay. I just need to get some peanut butter out before I forget. Well, it's almond butter out for that one. Archie, get out the door. This one is going to be mince leeks and tatties, and this one is going to be lasagna. So this takes slightly longer to make because I will cook up the mince and the vegetables and then add like a little blitz tomato sauce, and then after that I'll make a white sauce with cream and cheese and then shove everything in the oven once it's in these ramekins. Whereas everything else, as soon as it's cooked and mashed up with a tatty masher, it just goes straight into these pots and then into the freezer. So I usually add a little bit of seasoning, just like salt and pepper, garlic, or any seasoning that doesn't have like sweet tastes, because then it'll push up the carbs. And to every single one of these meals, I normally add a specific amount of olive oil or hemp oil or walnut oil to take up the fat content. But just now we have to add per meal 5 grams of MCT oil. So this is on prescription. We were having to, George is having a little bit of trouble producing ketones just now, so his keto diet isn't working as effectively as it should, but we don't know why. And we've tried various different things, changing the ratio so he gets more fat, less carbs. We've just increased his calories, taken away things like diluting juice, anything with sorbitol in it. So all of his medicines that were liquid based have been changed to tablet form. They're crushed tablets, soluble tablets, because obviously you can't swallow a tablet. And nothing's working. So we tried this MCT oil. So that was originally just 5 grams of oil per meal on top of included in the other fat. So say he needed 10 grams of fat in a meal, he would get some of that fat from maybe peanut butter or almond butter, some of the fat from double cream in his bottle. If it was a savoury meal, some of the fat would have come from the olive or the walnut oil that I've been using to cook. It's better to use nut oils for this diet than it is to use sunflower or even olive oil, because you want to keep his cholesterol low. The fat might have come from, what else? Blitzed up nuts that I use sometimes to make crumble toppings. Yeah, just anything. I don't buy high fat meats because they are disgusting and they're really tough, so they don't break up or mash up easily, whereas minced from the butchers is just really low fat and it breaks up really easily. What's wrong? Your banana's there. So yeah, I'm away to cook all this in the oil. I just cook it with the oil through it, but I don't fry it. This oil it burns at a lower point than all the other oils, so you've got to keep it on low. And then I add in water and we basically just kind of slowly steam/boil everything till it's soft. Add in your seasoning and then mash everything up and put it in the dishes. So yeah, we'll see how long this takes. Hopefully within another hour everything will kind of be dished up and good to go, because I need to make our supper and I'll use the leftovers. So we're using leftover mince to make burgers for us. And there's chicken and leeks and tatties that are left over. I'm going to make tatty soup, leek and tatty soup. So, yeah. Right, that is now 5:05 and all of George's meals are almost prepared. So we've got lasagna that I am going to make a cheese sauce for and then shove under the grill. So I'll do that later tonight. We've got satay chicken. So that's chicken with peanut butter, some seasoning, cumin, veg, and then we've got minced matates and broccoli and sweet potato in this one, and then we've got chicken with broccoli and carrots and courgettes in that one. So that will last probably about 2 weeks, but that only accounts for 2 meals a day, and that's taken me over 2 hours to prep.
Yeah.
So it's 8 o'clock.
Ish.
Didn't sleep again last night.
This is what he's been like
Since like what, January. So he ended up in our bed. He had a seizure at 2. Fell asleep for a few hours. Yeah.
I woke up again.
So that's why we're constantly knackered. Because some nights we'll get maybe 6 hours of sleep, some nights we get 2. And then we still have to get up the next day. Usually I get up at the back of 7 to start work. George sleeps in a bedroom with his little brother, just because our spare room is an office just now. So we have to take him through here, so that he doesn't wake Archie up. So you can hear Archie screaming just now.
Archie's our alarm clock.
George did have his bed. He has 2 beds, so it's like a single bed with a guest bed underneath. So his guest bed was in our room, and he slept in our room from March, maybe February, until Sunday, because he was having seizures through the night. And we put him back through his room on Sunday. He slept a grand total of 1 night in his own room, and he's back in our bed.
No, he didn't sleep on Sunday. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He didn't sleep on Sunday. It was Monday. He slept
Yeah, and he slept right through.
right through.
Which was fabulous.
On Sunday, he slept in his beanbag next to our bed with me rubbing his head until he fell asleep, and that was at 4 or 3.
Yeah.
3 or 4 in the morning. And then yeah, to get up for work back at 7. So yeah, we'll get him up, we'll get him breakfasted, which we'll show you next, and then bathed or showered, changed, medicine. Yeah, so we'll show you when we get up.
See you soon. Bye bye. Right, Lindsay is preparing. Well,
I made it last
night.
So George's food gets made
Measured
out. We've got this tiny little set of scales that everything gets weighed out to the 0.01 of a gram, in line with his keto diet. This is porridge with double cream, raspberries, blueberries, and some almond powder.
And I'm just chucking in his almond milk and
Yeah, the leftover cream, because there was too much cream in his recipe just to put in there. So Nick's going to feed him. It can take anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour to feed him, and we feed him 4 times a day. So yeah, you'll get to see all of that today. So it's now 8:24, so let's see when we finish feeding him today. Just now, George is on 3 different drugs. We've got Epilim, which is a crushable tablet, Sabril, which is like little granules that dissolve, and well, he's on 2 drugs because this is just a food supplement, Carnitine, to help keep his ketones up. Now that his keto diet is working just now.
How much was he on before?
So prior to this, he was on Epilim in liquid form, which we still have there. Kepra, which he's been on since he was like 2 months old, which we've just stopped not long ago. Carnitine and Sabril.
Is there anything else he gets just now as well?
No. Fruity vitamins and Movicol he gets in his water. So the Sabril is the one that they think is causing the movement disorder. So we're trying ourselves just to wean this slowly down. He gets 2 sachets, and each sachet's got 500 milligram granules. And each sachet gets dissolved with 10 mils of water. It's just to make it easy for measuring, because he's on like an awkward dose. So, I've got my syringe, I just pull back 10 mils of water, then dissolve the solution, and then from that, we give him 7.5 mils just now of drugs from that, and then the rest we just pop in the cupboard because he gets more later on in the day. The Epilin, he gets 3 tablets crushed. Oh, in the morning he gets 4 tablets crushed at night. He's got a little pill crusher. These ones are quite easy. We used to, when he was really small, we had these vitamin tablets. They thought the reason for his seizures was a genetic disorder where your brain was missing like vitamin B6 or something.
No, they were horrendous.
Oh, they were awful, and they were bright yellow or something crazy, but they had like a sugar coating on them, so they didn't crush very well. They obviously couldn't swallow them.
You're managing there.
Yeah. And then with that, we just pour those contents into a syringe. Hope that you don't spill any, and then
Throw back some more.
dissolve that in some water as well. It doesn't matter how much, just enough to know what she's doing. And then his Carnitine, there's 10 mils in a bottle. It's really silly because you're not allowed to reuse the bottles. Once it's oxygenated, you have to chuck it away. So from the 10 ml bottle, we only give him 2 mils, He was on a lot more before, but we found that 2 mils is enough. His seizures increased, so he was on more. And then we chuck the rest. So 3 drugs, then teeth cleaned, then upstairs for shower, and then we've got his breathing physio and stuff to do. The rest of the drugs he'll get the same again, different dosages at night, and he'll get his fruity vitamins, which is a sachet of vitamins, and his Movicol in his juice that he just gets throughout the day. And I think that's it. Yeah.
Cool. So I have done George's drugs and cleaned his teeth. I'm now going to do his respiratory mask, which we're supposed to do for 5 minutes, a couple of times a day if we get the time. This is it here. This just helps to strengthen his lungs so that he's less susceptible to catching colds and flights, any lung infections easier. Okay, so I'll do that for the next 5 minutes. We can add that later. Okay, thanks guys. As you can see, he is not a fan. It's been a while since we've managed to do it. Just try to get it off. If you look carefully, he'll keep opening his mouth to try and get it off, which makes it difficult to get a seal. So I'll persevere. 5 minutes anyway. We have his bath seat, which just goes in the bath for him to sit in while we give him a shower. That's it. And then he sits here, this goes around his waist, this comes up the middle, holds him in the seat. That's for his head. And then we just wash and shower him. So we'll get that done now.
Okay, so that's George going into the bath. Nick does this slightly different to me. So Nick has the seat tilted back so that he's lying down. But you can also have the seat up so that he's sitting up more. Sometimes George gets a bath with Archie. Sometimes he just gets a shower if we don't have much time. And because I've got a meeting this morning, we're just showering him. So just wash him like any other child, I guess. It's a bit difficult getting him out of the bath because he's obviously slippy. And then we have to hunch over and pick him up to us without hurting him, and then take him to the bedroom and pop him on a towel to get him dried. So that can be quite sore on your back if you don't do it carefully. And probably sore for George as well. But there we go. Bath time in the Smith household. So this is George's lycra suit. It helps with his tone. So he has low tone, which means that his muscles are floppy and he can't hold himself up, as we all know. Excuse the mess of the bed. So it's like trying to get on a pair of Spanx. This one's actually getting a little bit too small, and we have...
For those who know what Spanx are,
I'm sure they
gentlemen.
Will. And well, we have a new one on order. We got measured for it the other week, so hopefully that'll be here in the next week or so. Archie's trying to put... Oh my god, Archie, what's that on your face? It's my makeup. Yeah, so there's lots of zips and Velcro fastening, so you just fasten everything up, and there's a massive difference in him, holding him sitting, etc., when he's got this suit on. So that goes under all of his clothes, and instead of like a vest, and then his trousers and t-shirt will go on top.
Okay, Lindsay's got a meeting for the next couple of hours, so I'm chill for a bit, and then I'll put George in his standing frame for a while, see how that goes, and then we'll decide what we're going to do once Lindsay's out of her meeting later today. Okay, so I'm away to get George ready to go in his stander. I've got to put his splints and his shoes on first, and then we get him into his stander. So get this done first. Hey Georgie. So these are his splints. There's one for each leg, obviously. And he's got to wear shoes that are 4 sizes bigger because of the plastic at the end here. Not sure if it's good for his feet or not, the bigger shoes, but it's what we've got to do to make sure he's got shoes in his feet to keep his feet warm. Isn't that right, Georgie? Eh? He is here. He is not just a random pair of legs sticking out of his feet. He's up here, look. And of course, as soon as we start doing anything, he starts kicking about, making it nice and easy. Don't you, George? I have to bend the foot, make sure the ankle's at 90. Get the foot right in. So we know that the heel's at the back here. Padding over the ankle. Fastens around the ankle. Make sure there's no extra cloth. And then around the shin. You're not a fan of these, anybody? But they help with his ankles. He normally sits with his foot flexed forward, which has been shortening his muscles of his calves and his hamstrings, which made it difficult, which meant we couldn't get him in his stander for 6 to 9 months, which is not much help at all, really. Are you guys all amazed at how quiet Archie is, sitting watching a film? So, just the other shoe to put on. Then we have to try and get him into his stand, which is always a lot of fun. There we go. Right. I'm going to have to move the camera so we can get a decent angle of the stander. As you can see, it is a... Where is it? Where is it? A big ass piece of machinery. It's not the easiest to get him into. So we will tilt it back. So we've got to tilt it back so you lie him into it rather than stand him into it. There it is. Just tilt it forward. There's a hip here. This is his chest. This is for his knees. Obviously his feet's at the bottom, and the headrest here at the top. All this is just for standing. We're almost at the maximum of this one, so we're going to have to get a bigger one, which is not going to be good for the space in this house as it is. Right, dog, are you ready? Oh, you're so heavy. Can't really a fan of this either, eh? We're going to try and make sure his hips are nice and square. And that his legs are straight. I think he's grown again. Okay, so we got new knee blocks, but I kind of feel like he's not ready for them yet because these ones kind of fit quite well. We now have to secure this button because Archie likes to pull Velcro out. One of his legs seems to be a little bit shorter, could be because his hips are a little bit twisted. One's higher than the other, so we've got to try and pull it down as best we can. Okay, and the hips. So what I tend to do is fasten it across his hips. And then give it a little tighten. Over this side. Okay. That's comfortable enough, G, is it? Okay. And then you stay with the chest. A little bit of a slacking. Tighten it across. Then it's a little pull. A little pull. Hopefully it's not too tight. He will soon let us know if it is. Okay. And then we tilt him up nicely. And if he's not happy, he quickly lets us know. As you can see, it's quite a tall lad when he's in this thing. So, oh, what's up? You're not happy? What's wrong? Hey? Everything seems okay. Put your table on. Now put your table on. Okay, no burps. Not what it is. You need a burp. Okay. So that's him good to go. We will come back once we've done some other therapy with him and take him out.
Okay, hi. We are going to put George into his seat to do some nursery stuff that we should be doing every day, but that we're not. George does move into his seat throughout the day, so he changes between that, hopefully you can see there, and the pea pod. So the pea pod's more for comfortable sitting, and then the seat is for things when we're like feeding or playing, etc. And that seat also goes into his wheelchair, so it comes off of the indoor base and we put it in the car into the wheelchair base as well. So you can watch how we get him into his seat and how we tie it all together. You will see what Archie likes to do. Climb, yeah. So hopefully he won't be climbing as we try and do this. So let's try and get this. Okay, so let's pull this away, darling. See there. So we have to sort his hips first of all, so that they are sitting not tilted and not going over to one side of the seat. And then pop his feet into the little feet rests there. After that, we've got two bits that we need to strap. So we've got a waist belt, which is like a seat belt, which sometimes gets stuck when he sits in it. Tighten. And then Nick, this seat only came with this strap, plus one other tiny strap across here. And obviously George needs a lot of support and it didn't keep him in at all. So it was just ridiculous. Nick bought a harness on eBay and then stitched it into the back of the seat. So this is his harness. So obviously if we just left him with two tiny straps, he would hurt himself in here. Excuse you. My goodness me, George. Hey. Going through a habit of eating his hands just now, so he wants his hands in his mouth all the time. Hey. Okay, let me fasten it up. And I'll just tighten it. Sure he's insecure. This really needs a wash. Okay, and then on top of this we also have a table, so we'll pop that in. This is really awkward, this table. It's so stupidly designed. His last table had a little thing on the bottom where you could tilt the table and not have to tilt the chair. So George can't always sit upright, but if you don't have him sitting upright, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, so he's not sitting quite upright and his table's on a tilt. So if I was to put a toy on that table, I'll use this lip balm as an example, it just falls off. It's ridiculous. It makes me so angry because if I then tilt him up using the lever behind the seat to where the table is flat, he can't hold his head in that position for a long period of time. So he's okay just now, but he'll start falling forward So you'll leave him with a little toy, and 2 seconds later his head is down here because he doesn't have the strength to hold it up. He is doing a little bit better with this, so we'll see how he gets on. But generally, when he's not having good days, this is no use whatsoever. So he can't play because the table, all his toys just roll off of it. We can't colour, we can't do anything. It's infuriating. But this is the only wheelchair we can get from wheelchair services, so we just have to make do with it. And the other thing about this is it's really heavy. So when it's in the car and we're taking the wheelchair in and out of the car, it's really difficult to lift. It's okay for like Nick, but I'm just little, so you really have to like squat and get the thing out and put it in. And when I'd had Archie in a section and I was on my own, I needed to go places. I couldn't be stuck at home, and I needed him in his wheelchair because, well, how else was I going to move him? So it was really dangerous for me to take that wheelchair in and out of the car. It was fine, but you know, I'm a lot stronger than some people. And it's still really heavy for me. Now it does go into 2 pieces, but the wheelchair gets stuck on the base, and honestly you stand there for ages trying to like separate the two, getting really angry. So yeah, best of a bad situation, I guess. Anyway, we'll get his nursery started, so I will stop filming for now. Twinkle, you gonna twinkle your fingers? This is difficult. Ah! Little star, how I wonder what you are. Woo! Well done. Good boy. Want to do it again? Or try it once more because I'll be better this time. Where's it going? Ready? Ready? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, little star. Are you singing? How I wonder what you are. Way! Clap to George. Clap the hands. Good boy. You're better than me, aren't you? Yeah, you are. You are. Well done. That's it done. What are we going to do now? Don't know. We'll see what else nursery has. Okay, so we're about to do some playing with George. So I've put his seat down to a really low level, so he's not too far off the ground. It means I can sit on the sofa. Got a huge toy box behind us. Oh, mess. And I've just taken some sensory toys out of there. And what we would generally sit and do is just help him play with the toys. So it might be a little bit difficult for me to do on here. So I'll spin it. And then hopefully this will work. Okay, so you should be able to see him. And what we do. Oh. Maybe just close the curtain so you've got a better view. Not that it's made any difference, but never mind. Okay, so the first one. So what we generally do is just help. Obviously it's different because I'm filming today, but just help him feel the toy. Yeah. And then make some noise with the toy. George can't really grip, so hopefully you can see there. So he can hold on to your hand, okay? So he'll take a hold of my hand for longer periods of time. But if I put this toy in it and positioned his hand around it, as soon as I let go, his hand will come off the toy. And that happens with everything. So he doesn't have any meaningful grip. Do you know what I'm saying about you? So everything you do, you have to help him understand what is in front of him, because obviously he can't see, and help him play with that item. So he's not just like another kid that you can chuck toys down in front of and they'll entertain themselves. You can see when he likes something because his face, he goes all happy. What's that? You got it? Oh, wow. Ready? You got it? That's it, good boy. Teet teet. Wow. Lunchtime for George. He's going to get one of his savoury meals today, so I'm going to grab one out of the freezer.
I don't think Archie's going to be patient enough for us to get George's meal.
So we have got some bits. So this is mixed with leeks and tatties. Sweet potato as well, I think.
So essentially mince and tatties.
Yeah. He's in the microwave. We'll make up a bottle of milk with almond milk and double cream to up his fat content, and then yeah, we'll just feed him like we fed him his breakfast.
Okay, this is his milk. We've got double cream, fresh of course, not that Elmley rubbish, and unsweetened almond milk. He's just murmuring in the background there how much cream he needs. So he's getting 36 grams of double cream in here. To the 0.01, which is fun to try and get, I'll tell you. You say 36?
Yeah.
Oh, it's close.
150 of milk.
35.91. 36. Oh, 0.04. I can live with that. And milk's 150.
Yeah.
And 150 of milk.
Please refer to us as that when you're tweeting about the show or Instagram. We love it.
149.78. Ooh.
Want to go to the table? Yeah, you go to the table.
Okay. So that's his milk made. I'll chuck it in the micro, heat it up. And then good to go.
Okay, ready, George, Archie?
Okay guys, we're away to do some physio with George, just as we got a peanut ball the other week from we got the other week, so we can do the peanut ball.
So,
okay, so what we're trying to do here is strengthen the core.
I've got you, darling. Head up. Okay,
You're going to
so
straighten your legs?
plop him forward a little bit if you can.
And then they will groove.
Yeah. So a lot of George's physio is a two-man job. Okay. Especially for stuff like this. Okay, darling. Wow, keep your head up. That's it, good boy. Wow.
Keep your head
And
up.
what he normally does this really well. He's not playing ball today. What we want to do is encourage
That's probably
him.
because we've been doing quite a lot with him today, so you
Tired.
guys can see what we're trying to do. You can't see Archie, but he's stealing George's chair in the corner.
So yeah, we want to try and get him upright and then wiggle the balls so that he has to start working his core muscles. Normally he can keep himself upright for a little moment here. You got hold of him, yeah? Ready? He's also just had his lunch, so he's maybe not in the mood to...
Yeah.
Good boy. What we're showing you as well today, realistically, we should be doing all of this every single day. And we physically can't. So you guys will have seen I put up a rant about his nursery hours being cut. Because we're working from home and running the business and studying, we can't just plonk him in front of the TV or give him a toy and or a colouring in book. This is what we have to do every single day of the week, and we're not getting a chance to do it. And it's not fair on him or on us as parents that work is coming before, especially my job, it's coming before his health and his needs. So hopefully this will raise some awareness. Well done. Come on then. Hands up. Can you put your hands on the ball? And the other thing I want to try and do is encourage him to put weight through his arms so that he can roll over again. You've got to straighten your arms. Good boy. Straighten, straighten, straighten.
Was that no?
No.
I want to hold my
Good
boobies.
boy. No, hands down. Oh, that's it.
Not that long ago, his feet didn't even touch the floor in this thing. Now his feet are well planted.
No, they're just about on the floor. Good boy. We also use this for kneeling and rolling as well. Good boy. You had enough.
Going to roll forward. Oh.
Got him. Uh-oh, lost a shoe.
Okay, we're going to lie you on the ball.
His knees. Yeah, you're putting him on his knees.
I was going to put one on the ball.
I don't know if you're coping this one very well. Okay. Right, so we want to try and get him. Wow! That is so good. You guys can see that? Okay, hands up again, and head up. Good boy. That's it. Good strength up through his legs for kneeling. He's progressed a lot lately. We couldn't have got him to do this not very long ago. There we go. You can imagine as well, you've seen all of the equipment that most of the equipment that we're using on a daily basis. It takes up so much space. Right, up. Good boy, up. Back down. That's it. Good boy. Fab effort. Can you get your head up a little bit more? Good boy. I wonder if you can see that. Head up. Yay! It's really difficult for him to pull his head up from down here as well. Head up a little bit more. Yay! Good boy. That's really good, George. Wow, what do you think? Are you impressed? Yeah. He's progressed since we took him off one of his drugs. He's actually doing amazingly. Okay, head up. Good boy. Wow. Yay.
Okay. No, that's fine. That's it.
Is that one of his arms has slipped down, so if you grab him. Got him. Okay, ready?
You push the ball
There.
in. No, you push the ball in.
It's in. There we go. Okay. Good boy. That's it. Excellent. Oh, your brother's just appeared upstairs. What's he doing?
Nobody knows.
Well done. Can you get your head up? Yay! Okay, you've had enough. Good boy. Well done.
He's very quick in being vocal when he's had enough. So he just quickly tells us.
Okay.
Okay. Cheers, guys. To the side. So George is having a seizure coming up for 10 minutes now. So I'm just, as a precaution, going to draw his rescue meds. So if we need to give him to him because it won't stop, then we give him the meds. But I will say it looks like it's starting to calm down. Or I could be wrong. This is just in case. Clearly not as bad as it was. stay away, Archie. Just, you can't touch this. You're not allowed to touch it. Seems to be calming down, so it's just 10 minutes now, but the doctors told us if he's calming down to not administer the drugs and just syringe them back into the bottle. But yeah, he's calming down. Okay, so I'll put this back in the bottle. Hopefully this will be the only one for today. As you can see, the seizure he just had completely wipes him out. He'll maybe sleep for about 20 minutes. Sometimes it can be up to 2 or 3 hours, depending on the severity. So might not do anything. Might struggle to give him his supper in about half an hour because he won't waken up because he's so tired. But we just give him it a little bit later on. So this is kind of just standard after a seizure. It was the same last night. At 2 in the morning he slept for like 4 hours after it, and then he woke up again all disturbed and unhappy. Okay.
Hi guys, we're about to feed George's supper. Archie's here. George is here. We've got some chicken and broccoli. We normally feed in the back 5 when we finish with the first class, but he had a seizure, so it's now just after 6 and we're away to feed him. Okay, Archie. We're tired today. It's the same process, just gets food and then a bottle of milk with double cream to make up his fat content, which I'll do once his food is finished. Hi again, that's us just finished feeding George. It's 6:30, so it's only taken half an hour this time. Yes. Hello. He's had his broccoli chicken and his milk. Normally he eats his food with no problems, but it can take so long to feed him his bottle of milk. Sometimes we have to give him a break between his food and his milk. Sometimes he just doesn't want it, and he has to have it because he has to eat everything that's part of his keto diet to keep his ratios in check. So yeah, sometimes we just persevere and it can take an hour. It's such a long time, especially if we're both working or studying. And like in the morning I work 6 hours, but if Nick's working and studying, like 2 of those hours are taken up feeding. You know, another dipping in and out to change his bum, to reposition him, to put him in a stander, blah blah blah, and all of a sudden I've got 2 hours of work left and a shitload to do and I'm not getting it done, so it is a bit of a struggle just now. Yeah, but at least supper's done. So I've got a stretching class at 7 that I'm away to do. Nick's tidying up. George will chill while I'm doing that class, and then we'll do some play with him. Then start his bedtime routine, so his meal, his drugs, pyjamas, get him up to bed. I think Nick's going to go for a run, and then we'll tidy up before our 1-to-1 start tomorrow. Yeah, bye.
So I'm going to add in we haven't had time today because after George's seizure he's been pretty tired, so I'm going to add in an old walker video because obviously we've got to try and do that in a day as well, so I'll add that in just next after this. Okay, cheers guys.
Turn him round. Is that okay? Okay. Yeah, try walking this way. Okay, ready? Come on, head up. You're going squint. Come on, you do it. That's it. Good boy. focus. Right, come on. That's it, good boy. Put your feet down. Okay, we're going to go back again. Alright, so watch feet. Right, try again, ready? Come on. So it's 20 to 8 and Nick is doing some sitting with George because I've just done a stretching class with Master Lindsay. So George has been sitting with me in his pea pod, but he was starting to get a bit antsy. So Nick took him out and he's now practicing his sitting. So it's non-stop for George. We're always, oh, look at that head control. Wow. Oh my goodness. Wow. It's literally anytime we can do physio, like simple things like that, we do it. Just in the way we hold him or the way that we move him. He is a million times better than he was even 6 months ago. He wouldn't have been able to hold his head up like he is now. Albeit it's not for long periods of time, but it's great progress. So yeah, in half an hour we'll start his bedtime routine. And 8 o'clock.
Like 10 to 8.
Yeah, but he had a late supper tonight, remember? Because he had a seizure.
The TV's on.
Yeah, because he's got earphones in. Anyway, so half an hour we'll start his bedtime routine and get him to bed hopefully before 9. Hello again. 8:30, time to make George's pudding. I am knackered, you can see by my face. I did put on makeup and straighten my hair this morning, but never mind. So we're going to make double cream. Well, we're not going to make double cream. I'm going to whip up some double cream. I'm going to put some grated Sainsbury's dark chocolate through it. Some almond butter, raspberries and blueberries that I just mash up. And then after that, if he wants it, he'll get a bottle of unsweetened almond milk. So Nick's got his bed because he is struggling with the physical, taking part in all the classes every single day. We're also running, trying to keep our fitness up, and we're both, sometimes you just get to the point where you're like, whoa. So I haven't run today, I've taken the day off. I did my fitness class at 4 and then a stretching class at 7. And we have no food left because we can't get a food delivery till Friday. And I can't be arsed going to Tesco after we've taught or going through the day because I don't do queues. And I don't do getting stuck behind slow people following the one-way system. At least at night it's quiet and you can just kind of zip up. So I'll probably go tomorrow evening after teaching just to pick up some bread and stuff for breakfast on Friday before the shopping arrives. So here's George. You say hi. He's chilling out with me on the sofa because Daddy's upstairs. We're just watching something on TV. I don't know what it is. So we'll go make us food and then hopefully by 9 o'clock I'll have fed him and done his drugs and got him in his pyjamas. Wish me luck. So here we have some whipped cream with chocolate and fruit. Specific dark chocolate because its carb content's actually quite low. So we grate that up. Is that good? You could probably make this into ice cream as well if you froze it. But he loves this one. I like it as well, it tastes really good. It's really good at eating actually, even though we have to feed him. A lot of children like him are fed through either their tummies, a JPEG or a G tube or something. One goes into one part of the intestine and one goes into the other. And some of them are fed liquid through their noses as well. But thankfully, we've managed to keep him orally fed. Was it 2 years ago, when they put him on a drug called clonazepam that we didn't realise was a benzodiazepine. And it basically, he's low tone anyway, but it made him so floppy that he was struggling to swallow, and they told us they were going to have to put a tube down his nose to feed him. and myself and Nick took the decision at that point in time. We've done a few things that probably wouldn't have been supported, but they've been the best decision for George. We took him off that drug, and he was like a new kid, similar to when we took him off Keppra a few weeks ago. We know how to wean drugs. We're not stupid, and we have a lot of experience now. We took him off the Keppra, and he has progressed so much in only a few weeks.
Albeit accidentally.
Yeah, that was an accident, but then we made the decision to just keep him off because we know what the backup protocols are and if anything had gone wrong. So the hospital always support the decisions we make, even if we tell them after we've done it. But we wouldn't do anything to endanger his life. So we're almost finished. So he really likes his food. It's just his milk that's a bit of a struggle. But trying to get him to drink from anything other than a bottle takes twice as long, doesn't it, trying to feed him from a cup. And we have to get the balance between wanting him to drink from a cup and actually realistically not being able to spend 2 hours on every meal. So hopefully we'll get to a cup one day, but for now we're just trying to keep him with a bottle. Okay. We've got almost done.
Okay.
It's time to get George in his pyjamas and clean his teeth. He is resisting tonight. Doesn't want to go to bed. So, I don't actually think I took 3 pyjamas.
No, you didn't.
You'll have to get some.
I know.
So his suit comes off to go to bed. He's so tall. Because it's so restrictive. We could keep it on all night, but we don't. He has a sleep system in his bed. So I think we might have to show you that in the morning because Archie's asleep. But it's basically a plastic things that go onto a Velcro sheet that should keep his spine, because if you look when he lies down, he actually curves to the side. He has scoliosis, so to prevent any future surgeries, which are really invasive, we have to try and keep him in this position as much as we can. So the supports help with that, and as does all his equipment and that suit that you saw us putting on this morning. So it's actually, we're a little bit behind schedule. It's 9:20. He's just getting into his gym jams, but hopefully he'll settle quite quickly tonight. So that mumping tells me otherwise. Maybe he'll be back in here. What's Daddy doing? What's Daddy doing? Don't know if you can see as well. He's scratched all his face. Yeah, they look like spots, but they're scratches because he's been so agitated lately. He's been hitting his face a lot. His lips are really dry as well because he's been licking his mouth a lot. So we're putting lip balm on like every half hour to try and sort them out because they were a mess the other day. Weren't they, G? He's got a big bruise on his elbow and bruises on his legs from where he's been hitting his limbs off of things. And when he's been agitated, this is all quite new because he's more lively. We haven't dealt with this before, but once we get he's meant to have a developmental review. He was meant to have it in April, but obviously it was cancelled. So with his teeth to get through. So hopefully they'll be able to tell us if there's anything we can do to stop him. I'm hitting myself now. We have to be quiet because Archie's in his bed. Don't know if you can see. Oh, no, you're not going to be able to see. Here's.
Careful, Archie.
Okay. Don't throw it off George. Don't throw it off George.
Watch George. Watch George. You just kicked him in the head.